stop obstructing people's karmas. So we tend to think that we know so much better. We tend to think that we are the moral compass. We tend to think that we know what is morally correct. We tend to think that what is actually right. Because in the deepest of ourselves, we actually know what is actually right. And when it comes to the surface, it actually comes to the surface of the ego. For your surface is built of the ego. And that is why it is polluted by the ego. Deep down, it is pure. Deep down, it is true. It is in its trueness. It is in its pureness. But when it comes above to the surface, it is indulged into the ego. And here actually lies the problem, where we think that we know what is the best for people. In fact, you don't even know what is best for yourself. Who are you to say what is best for people? And this is where we tend to stop people from experiencing, from living through their karma. And this is a big and a huge problem. We tend to control things unknowingly, indirectly. We might not be even aware of it that we are doing it, but we still do it. We tend to think that this is not the right way to do it. Forget yourself. This is never about yourself because you can never think about yourself. That is why you're indulging in others. That is why you're trying to tell others how to do it. First, tell yourself. First, you fulfill your karma. Then move on to others. Then you will realize that it is never about asking someone to do it in a certain way or in a certain form. It is about aiding them and guiding them into self actualization and helping them fulfill their own karma in their own way. Do not obstruct anyone. Now, this might sound actually not right to many people because you are like, if you can see someone be destructive, if you can see someone not being in a right way, then why shouldn't we interfere? Of course, you shall interfere, no doubt in that. If someone is doing absolutely absurd and not right things, you shall definitely interfere, you shall definitely help them, no doubt in that. However, the problem is many layers deeper. In fact, it is very, very seldom that people do the wrong things. And the wrong things in total are also very seldom. Now, that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be addressed, they should definitely be addressed. But most of the times, what you're actually addressing, the things that you think are wrong, are just you not seeing the self which is not actualized because you yourself haven't actualized. You yourself haven't found yourself. So, who are you to know what the other's self is? And that is the biggest of the problems that we have and will have throughout almost all human life. We always tend to correct the other. We always tend to ask someone to do things in a certain way just for our fulfillment. Why? Who are we to ask someone to do it for us? That is so selfish. You do it for yourself. That is not selfish. That is actually service of the greatest good. Once you realize what is the best and the good thing for you, that is actually the good way to be. Now, this will traverse and cross into various different points in life, various different sections, or what do you say, scenarios that you come across life as well. This isn't a one off thing, this isn't a section of your life. This is in its entirety. Everything that you do will come across it, or you will come across it, and everything that you do is in it. And that is the entire point. Unfulfilled people ask other unfulfilled people to fulfill themselves. This is the biggest misconception that people have, that someone else can fulfill them. Certain acts can fulfill them that others do. Sure, they can fulfill your ego, they can give you the aids to fulfill your ego, but they will never fulfill yourself. For only you and only you can self actualize and fulfill yourself. So stop asking for things, just say them. Let it be taken in any sense. For when you ask, there is unfulfillment in your asking. And that is the reason you ask. Now, that doesn't mean you shall never ask. Ask, but ask from a place of fulfillment. Ask from a place of giving. Ask from a place where you're fine with anything that comes out of the other end. And only then, will you understand what it means to be fulfilled.